This episode of the Restoration Today podcast is brought to you by DocuSketch. With more than 30,000 projects handled per month, DocuSketch is the game changer in claims process optimization. Utilize 360-degree photo tours, accurate ESX sketches, and complete insurance-compliant estimates to turbocharge your business. Don't be left behind and try DocuSketch today. Go to DocuSketch.com, the most valuable tool in your tool belt. This episode is also brought to you by Kahi. Kahi is the industry-leading asset tracking, remote monitoring, and vehicle telematics solution. Kahi is built by a restoration industry veteran and technology leaders. If you want to automate the tracking of your equipment and optimize your operation, Kahi is your solution. Visit kahi.io/CR podcast for an exclusive offer. That's kahi.io/CR podcast. Hey, restorers, thanks for checking out a fresh episode of the Restoration Today podcast. I am joined by two gentlemen that we've been trying to connect up for a half a minute and tried to get them on the podcast because they have a lot of exciting things going on in their company and are a company on the East Coast that's really taking names, I think, and expanding and making a big footprint as they expand. So I am excited to be joined by Greg Boatwright and Angelo Ferrante from Advanced Disaster Recovery, or you might know them as Advanced DRI. I was asking them ahead of recording what they really prefer to go by, so there might be multiple things that you have heard them go by, but you've also seen press releases from them, I'm sure, on CNR's website and Facebook pages and LinkedIn, because they've been making acquisitions and growing their footprint, and they have more aspirations coming into 2024. So Greg and Angelo, thank you very much for joining me. I am going to toss it over to, I guess, Greg first to kind of introduce yourself and share your background in the industry a little bit.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Happy to be here. Yeah, so I've been in the industry now going on 6 years is all. So Angelo's the old veteran, so I'd be the newbie on our team. So I know just enough to be dangerous, say stuff, and Angelo saves me, But my background was in corporate world, working with like companies like Alcoa, Reynolds Aluminum. So I'm really on the process side, the finance side, the acquisition side is kind of my role in the company. So that's my background in restoration, 5.5 years.
What's it been like coming from like corporate America, that kind of stuff, into restoration? It's completely different animal.
It's different, but I was in the building materials part of corporate world. Okay. So I was on the manufacturing distribution side selling to contractors. So I was always out in the field. So I'm very familiar and I'm very comfortable in that space. So I just bring some of the business system stuff to this, which is foreign to a lot of the companies.
Yes, yes, it is. It's hard for restorers to slow down and get the systems and processes in place because we just go.
Yeah.
Angelo, how about you? Introduce yourself and share a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. Michelle, thanks for having us. I'm glad we finally connected. So my history goes back 30 plus years in the construction business. We started in a small family business, my brother and my dad building homes, started basically one at a time. And we eventually finished up 2007, 2008. We built around 500 homes, overall, and a bunch of commercial space. So my background is heavy construction. Found this business called Restoration, knew nothing about it in 2008, and just kind of fell in love with the whole mitigation and so forth. Kind of built it up over a bunch of years. We got involved with DKI way back when, just met a gentleman, and about 5-6 years ago met Greg. And, again, we were just mom and pop. We knew how to do the work, just didn't know the systems. So it was a great partnership. He came on board. And 2-3 years later, we found some investors, and our little Hudson Valley DKI, which is what it was at that time, has grown into what we are today. So it's really exciting, and it's great to be just around people that are so much smarter than me. It's awesome.
That's not true. Don't let him fool you.
So did you know 5 or 6 years ago that you wanted to expand and start acquiring other companies, or did that come a little bit later? What was kind of the point in time where you knew, all right, we're going to grow this way versus, different ways you could grow a company?
Well, Greg, I mean, he he had experience in the M&A world already. So
Okay.
we knew that going in. So, it started off maybe just as kind of cleaning us up. And then, it was like, oh, by the way, I know these guys. And there was a lot of interest at that time where all of a sudden you start seeing a lot of action. So just one thing led to another. And then, we brought in the two initial companies, which is us and the A Molly brand, which was down in Jersey.
Yep.
That was it's a little over 3 years now. So now we have 12 locations. So it's crazy, crazy run.
A crazy run. And now what are
Yeah.
your plans from here? We're recording this in beginning of 2024. So Greg, you want to take this one first?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think now?
So our strategy is, you'll hear me say, we want to be the biggest little company in our region, right? We want to be big from having the resources to support our locations, but we're little because we operate local, right? And if you visit our company, you'll see that, the locations, we really work on that culture. Okay. So we're regional. We're not the big national. So we're currently in New Jersey, New York, PA, and Connecticut. We will likely go a state outside of that. We're in many talks right now with lots of companies, and so, but it's going to be regional, and we like that because we can reach out and help each other if one location needs it, right, with equipment or manpower or just advice. You can get there real quickly, and so that's our plan. So we're 3 years and a month in business, and we're going to keep adding as it makes sense, and not add just to add. And so we've grown quickly. We're 15 times bigger now in revenue than when we started, and so a lot of fun stuff. So we'll keep doing that. We do have financial backing, so who knows what it is way down the road. But right now we're focused on just growing this region and being that regional brand that this area can go to.
What have you two found is the key to kind of systems and processes that have allowed you to acquire and grow at 15x in a very short time and make that even possible to keep, employees happy and to keep things going and not let customers down and everything? That's fast growth. Angelo, go for it.
You go for it, Angelo. I have one answer, then I'll come in with something.
Well, it's for me again. We were just contractors, so it been a learning curve for me, big time. Me and my brother. Back in the day, he would drive an excavator, and I would be in the ditch laying pipes. So this is new stuff. So onboarding of companies has been really challenging. I think we've all learned,
Yeah.
over time what works and what doesn't work. We've gotten better, and we don't have it necessarily dialed in, but we're pretty good with it. And it took a while to get the right people on the bus, and we're centralizing some services like accounting and estimating. So it's definitely been a challenge, but we're at a really good place now. And 2024 is going to be big once we start bringing in some of these other companies. So good stuff
Greg,
happening.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, the thing that I would add that enabled that, because it's challenging, right? Because people are nervous with change, and so we work really hard in the initial process to connect with as many employees as owners will let us. I mean, that's a whole discussion in itself on when owners will let you engage with people. But so we start there. We picked what we call platform systems. This is our job management system. This is our accounting system. This is our whatever system. This is the advanced disaster recovery way. We picked that. And is it the right one? Who knows? But it's the one we got. It's what we're sticking with.
Yep.
And we take people to it right day one if they're not on it. And just get that out of the way, because there's never a good time to change system. So just do it day one, go put them on there. And we've developed a team now, with that goes in and kind of make sure their area gets implemented. And so is it perfect? Now there's always something that jumps up, but I would say we're pretty doggone good, because we don't lose people, and
Yeah, I think
we don't miss the service side of things either. I mean, we take care of the clients. So
Yeah, I think it's better at first we were kind of like weeding into a lot of these different things. Now it's just like shock and awe. We just this is the system we use day one, and they're in. That's it.
Boom.
So I think it's not, people don't like change, but we found that's the way to do it for sure.
What was the process like to determine, for example, like what job management software you want to use or whatever? I mean, there are so many options out there now that I know that a lot of contractors struggle with weeding through those. And any show you go to, there's more options even out there then. So what did it look like kind of, I don't know, vetting the different options and determining what was best for you? Because every company also has a different fit, I know.
Yeah. So when we started, so my buddy there, Angelo, he was the flavor of the day guy when I first started working with him. So we worked with a bunch of them.
Okay.
And
That's a good
then
way to figure it out, I guess.
yeah. So I mean, and then as we formed this company and we bought a Molly, they really had some things dialed in with their job system, and they were much bigger than we were.
Mhm.
And so we said, you know what, we're not going to upset the apple cart. They got it dialed in. Let's go with their job management system. Then we brought some of our tools that we use, and we just put it all together from there. But I know there's lots coming out every day. There's a lot of activity, and our size right now, I don't know. When I look at the benefit to a change, I just don't see it,
Mhm.
right now. So we're just keep dialing in what we have and work to improve it from with what we got. So
And what's nice about all these systems now, not all of them, but a lot of them now are starting to integrate with each other. So change
Yes.
doesn't really make any sense. If we're talking a company cam, they work with Dash or vice versa,
Yep.
that type of thing. So that's been really helpful for us.
As you've integrated these companies in, have you had them also have the same kind of processes for when it comes to, I don't know, scoping a job, creating their estimates, having reviews, or is it like,
nope.
You were really going to ask that, huh?
It's probably the one area that we're still working hard at. Right? So when we put them on the accounting system, job management systems day one, but we try not to upset their initial workflow day one because we want to take care of the customers. So we want to learn what they're doing first of all, because maybe they know something better than we do, And so we try to learn from each of the acquisitions. And so now we've got all these companies in from the scoping all the way to getting the estimate, and we're working hard to create our standard. We're not there. I mean, some of them had the PMs run,
yeah,
scope it, write it.
Yep.
Some of them didn't do any of that. They just sent it all into an estimating hub. But we do have a hub, and we are centralizing estimating, HR, accounting. That back office is all centrally managed.
Okay.
How we get the information in there is still a little variable.
Okay.
And to make those changes, especially on the scoping estimating, is just the skill set of each of the individual's offices, the way they were originally hired.
Yep.
We have project managers that don't even know how to turn on the Xactimate, but they do very well. But that was their way. We just,
Yeah.
So we're kind of working with what we have. So
What do you two, I'm guessing that you both have different things that you look for in companies as you go in to potentially make an acquisition or bring somebody else into the fold. Because I think you both come at this from kind of different angles, it sounds like. So like Angela, what are you looking for in a company that comes into talks about maybe joining advanced disaster recovery?
well, I think first of all, foremost is the people.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you get a really good flavor of the company just by, the owner, right? So they set the tone for culture and processes and so forth. So that's really number one. If you don't get along with the owner, we're just not going to buy anybody just because your numbers are good, because the owner has to be part of that whole onboarding process. It's not like you just buy it and they're leaving. They got to be at the minimum 6 months, 4 to 6 months would be a minimum, but most of the owners are at least 12 months. So I would say it's 100% the folks for me.
Greg, what about you?
Yeah, so we've been that underground company, not not too flashy out there, just doing our thing up here. And so we've been looking for those companies that frankly, a lot of the big national consolidators have not been. So they tend to be smaller. Um, and the downside of that, you tend to have to do a lot more work with them to even make them where you can acquire them to figure out what they're doing.
Sure.
But we start with, I agree with Angelo, people and fit. We're going to be working with these owners and their employees. So we look at the culture first, and then we think about it from, okay, is it a geographic expansion? Or does it help us in a gap in our service area? Do they bring a service to us that we want that we don't have, or maybe they enhance it? Something like that. So that's kind of our screening tools. Then we find that few of them have any kind of decent books, so we have to put a lot of work into understanding the earnings and educating on the sale process. So it tends to take a while. But those are the ones we're looking for, and we're flexible. There's no blueprint like this is the way we do it. It's different every time based on what the owner wants, what the employees want. And I think that's something that makes us unique, and people they like that. And so that's what we look for.
So when you talk about like the advanced disaster recovery culture, and I'm guessing that this carried over from like Hudson Valley DKI, I'm guessing that was kind of the core culture that's built out from there. So what does a good culture look like? Like, what are some of the things that you think even make you unique from other players in the industry, that are attractive to your employees, keep your employees around, stuff that make you different? Angelo, I'll let you tackle that one first.
That's a big one.
That's
a big one. So I'm located in the office that I started in New Hampton here, which is about an hour north of New York City. I mean, here, the culture, how we built it is just, again, it's mom and pop still. That doesn't matter. We have over 220 employees, but, I don't know all of them, but I know most of them. So, just interacting with folks is huge. I actually look at all the reviews, I do all the reach out. So I just think it's just having that personal, being available to anybody. I'm on the phone with a lot of the project managers throughout the day, and they don't report to me. But I just think it's important, to be in their lives and kind of see what they're doing on a daily basis, if it's just work or if it's even just family stuff, what's happening. So that's been very successful for me, and they'll get up in the middle of the night for me, because of that type of stuff. And that's a big deal. So,
It is, yeah.
But again, just trying to portray that to every office is definitely a challenge. But we got most of the people on the bus are on the bus now. So we're in a really, really good place.
Yeah.
Greg, anything you want to add?
Yeah, well, we started with, creating our vision and mission and values, right? And we measure ourselves against that. We do reviews against it. We talk about it. And so we start there. And then, people ask me about an org chart reporting structure, and I always draw a circle, and then I write all our names in it. I said, that's our org chart. I said, if you got the ability, you got the time, and something needs to be done, you're going to do it. Okay. And so that really confuses a lot of folks, and so every now and then we have to clarify the reporting lines and to me, it's for communication.
Yeah.
But everything else about getting the job done. So where Angelo said they don't report to him, they don't. But we all talk to, we're involved, and I like talking about our mission, because we say we build people, they'll build the company. And we mean that. We've got operations managers at 3 locations now. One was a technician, 2 others. One was a claims person, and one was an estimator person. They're running locations for us now. So we're about, building them up and growing the company. And the one value I like the most, we have value of have fun. We laugh at each other, pick at each other, and don't take things too serious. It's what it's about. It's fun.
Can you guys think of something from a company that you've acquired? Maybe it's a process, maybe it's part of their culture, maybe it's something that really stood out and it's like, that is cool. That is something that we definitely want to bring into the company. see wheels turning in both of you. You gonna think about it for a minute?
I mean, I got some things.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Greg.
Yeah. So when we were working with Angelo's business, we were DKI. So, and we did no TPA work, none of that. And we buy a big company, A Molly in Jersey, and they were all TPA, and they were much bigger than us. And let me tell you, it's challenging, but I like it. And that probably makes any restorer listen to this fall out of their chair, but I do like it, right? I mean, it comes in and we know how to do it.
Yeah.
And we're good at TPA work. So from a business process, that was really cool and good to watch and learn from. I don't know, that's a business system. I mean, something fun
That was
or
a great
unique.
answer.
What do you think, Angela?
No, that's true. But it's funny, even though our offices are only, it's nice that our office is only an hour to 2 hours away from each other. So we're able to visit them on a pretty regular basis. So, that's super helpful. But where I was going with this, Michelle, I don't know.
Well,
Thank God this is
unique
editable.
things. Well,
Something
some people
go ahead.
unique, something unique or different that we saw. It's really cool.
Well, I just think each one, even I guess where I was going with it, even though they're only an hour and a half away, like our two Jersey offices, one's up by New York City, so it's very city oriented type of folks.
Yep.
And then you drive an hour and a half south, and it was an A Molly office too, and they're wearing flip flops.
Yeah.
So it's just, just among the different offices, which you think are close, there's a different kind of, I don't know, way of life or, different mood at each one. So I think that for me has been really, really, really neat.
We did have to address the flip flops, though.
Yes,
we did
yes.
have to put in place a little bit of a dress code.
They're on the beach,
I mean, yeah, there could be a few issues with flip-flops, but I suppose it depends on what position you have, I suppose. But anyway, talk a little bit about, we had talked offline ahead of time, kind of about your motto of keeping it simple, not having, you don't need to be the flashiest on the street necessarily, but you know what you're doing. You have the right processes and things like that. So talk a little bit about what that means. You would use the term like you're a normal restorer. So a little bit about what that means. I'm not sure who wants to tackle that one, but you know what direction I'm going. So go for it.
Go for it, Ange. I'll let you go first.
Well, all right. So, I mean, our office, our corporate office is literally 1,000 square feet. Right, that's all our corporate office. And then we're working out, most of ours look like homes almost that have been converted to offices. It's really, we're 12 mom and pop locations that have just, grown into one entity. We have a 3,000 square foot shop at our main facility. Small, but it works. We have 12 crews that go out every day at the small shop. We don't have a training room. If we need a training room, we're going to the Holiday Inn and we rent a room for the day. So we get a lot of work done. A lot of volume comes through all of our offices. We just kind of keep it simple and it works. I mean, that's all I can really say to it.
Greg, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have the big flashy, signs and stuff everywhere. I mean, we do have our brand, right? Our trucks and all that. We care about the brand, but the stuff inside, you come to our place, I mean, it's nice. It's just little. I mean, but we got 12 locations, 210 employees, something like that now. And I mean, we need to go out to where they are. We don't need this big, in my opinion, we don't need a big office because, I mean, largely customers aren't coming to you. We were there, whatever, 7 a.m. Everybody, high five, get in the truck and go do some freaking work. There's nobody left at the office. Why do you need a big office? That's the way I look at it. So, then processes, it's easy to make something simple complicated. And so we work hard to take the complicated and make it simple.
Well, the COVID, we actually started this whole growth piece right right after COVID started, right? And, that started in March. So we were right in the middle of it. So right after that, nobody came to the office anyway. So,
Yeah.
we have a bigger office in Jersey, there's maybe 20% of the people are actually there. So, that taught us a lot.
Yeah.
Probably taught a lot of people a lot of stuff about remote working.
Taught a lot of people about a lot. COVID taught
Yeah.
us a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did. Okay, so taking a step back from advanced DRI and kind of looking at the industry as a whole, because you again both kind of come at it from different angles and different paths, which is awesome. So I'm curious what you both see as the biggest challenge in the industry right now. So Angelo, I'll toss this one to you first. The biggest challenge, and then if you want to be thinking about it, I'm going to ask the biggest opportunity next. But what do you think is the biggest challenge contractors are facing?
Well, I mean, us personally, I know there's a lot of talk on TPA and that type of stuff. For us, that's not a challenge. We're embracing that. It's taken me a little bit longer. We really think that's a way the industry's going. We
Yeah.
just see that. So that's really, we don't really have a challenge with that. We're very good at it, to be honest with you. Our challenges, I think, is just finding the right people for growth, right? So we have a great HR department and they work hard to find people, but it's just an ongoing, and when you talk about onboarding of companies, onboarding of employees, that's a whole nother part of it. And keeping, again, going from one office to 12 offices, keeping that culture. So I think some of that is challenging, but I think we're doing very well with it, but you always have to be working at it. You can't be complacent on it. So I would say that for me, that's our biggest challenge.
Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, to that point, one thing we created something that we call our Advanced Disaster Recovery University, right? So we have all of our trainings, our paths. Like if you're a technician, here's the trainings you do. If you're PM, here's a training. So we created all these structure to help with that. And we find people. Our HR team does good. It's hard, but they find them for us. So we really haven't been limited by people. I mean, if I look at the industry, the challenge, you got a lot of the M&A, okay, and so there's reasons for that. It's tough for a little guy with all the insurances and everything out there. So, um, you know, that's going to continue to be a challenge for somebody that's small, independent. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
If you look at the industry, and I would throw out there, we're one of those companies that you can look at if you're in our region, But and then just technology. Back to the shiny penny thing. I bet every day there's a new widget coming out there. Try this, try that, try that. And they're all getting at similar problems in our industry.
Yep.
And you just got to be smart about it because you can spend a lot of money and get nowhere. Angelo and I have in our past on things. It happens. So I try to bring that discipline from my chair. Like, oh, hang on just a minute. I know it looks good, but let's just make sure it tastes okay, And so that's I think a big challenge. But the opportunity, it's a great industry and it's a lot of fun and a lot of good people. And I don't know, it's endless opportunities for employees that really want to learn and grow.
Yes.
That's the way I think about it.
There's a lot of, you hear so much negativity on stuff that's happening, but some of it you can't change. We just got to embrace it and just figure out how to do it better. So I think that's kind of what camp we're in. We can whine and bitch and everything else, but it's a lot of this is coming.
Yeah.
And and we do what's best for our employees and our customers. So that's what we're doing.
Yep. I love it. All right. Anything that either of you want to add before we wrap it up? I'm glad we got to chat and you got to share more about the company and your growth. And it is unique and different, which is really fun to talk about and show what other people are doing. And, we hear a lot about the big national players, but it's fun to hear about companies that are doing it differently. And there are so many changes and a lot of contractors in the same boat as you trying to figure out what's next. What do we do now? So anything else you guys want to add?
Well, I want to add something, a little bit of a commercial if we can. I don't know when you're going to put this out there, but as we look at some of the small businesses I've told you that we look at, they don't know what this process is. They often don't even know what running a good business is. They know if they got cash in the bank account, right? And so we're running a workshop in February, and we're gonna it's a 1 day workshop where we're gonna teach people some things and going to give them some takeaways. Business Mentors is helping us, and they're actually our guest speaker. We're reaching out for companies to come. So if you're in our region, independent, and you'd like to learn some of this stuff, whether you're selling or not, it's the right way to run the business. You'll have a better business. You'll be less stressed. You'll get more sleep, and you'll have more fun. Just take some of these tools. So come to our workshop. It's at a brewery. What the heck? You can throw some axes and have a beer after the workshop if you want it.
See, if we had a big shop, we can have it there.
Yeah, we don't. We're over at the brewery.
Brewery and axe throwing sounds great, especially if at the end of it you're like, I mean, go
Enough
home
of
and really
this.
look at my financials now. So
Right.
Yeah, don't tell me about whip accounting.
I would just like to add, Michelle, I just want to thank you for, continue to pursue us to get us on here. Really appreciate you and CNR Magazine on everything you do for the industry as a whole. So thank you so much.
well, thank
Really
you both.
good. Really good.
Hopefully we'll cross paths soon at a show. I'm sure we will. We're into show season, so I'm sure we will cross paths.
We will see you.
Absolutely.
We'll be there.
For more Restoration Today and the latest news, visit our website, cnrmagazine.com, and find the latest episodes of the Restoration Today podcast on your favorite podcasting platform.